What if I told you the very thing you've been taught to cherish, pleasing others, is the silent poison eating away at your soul? That every smile you fake, every nod you force, every yes whispered when you mean no, is slowly erasing the real you. And if you don't stop, if you keep walking this path, you won't just lose your peace. You'll lose your power, your identity, your life as you know it. The air feels heavier now, doesn't it? Like a weight pressing down on your chest. That's no accident. Because this is not just a warning, it's a reckoning. You have been trapped by a lie. The lie that your value depends on how well you serve others' needs, how much you blend in, how perfectly you perform the role they expect. But here's the cruel twist. The more you please, the smaller you become. The more invisible you get. You think you're winning approval, but really you're losing yourself. Imagine a man named Victor. For years, he lived to make everyone around him comfortable. At work, at home, in friendships. He bent, twisted, sacrificed parts of himself like a contortionist performing for applause, and no one ever saw the cracks beneath his smile. No one noticed the silent scream buried deep inside. Until one night, alone in a dark room, Victor finally confronted the truth he had been avoiding. He was a ghost in his own life. Victor's story is not unique. It is a mirror reflecting what's happening to you if you keep choosing others' comfort over your own truth. And it's more than a feeling of emptiness or exhaustion. It's a slow death of your will. Your fire dims, your voice weakens, your spine softens. You become a puppet, dancing to the tune of expectations, shackled by invisible chains forged in fear. Fear of rejection, loneliness, conflict. It's the root feeding this destructive habit. You tell yourself, if I please them, they'll like me. If I stay quiet, I won't lose my place. But what you don't see is the price tag attached to every compromise. The price is your power. Remember Emma? Bright, talented, full of ideas, yet stuck in a dead-end job. Why? Because she was too busy trying to keep everyone happy to stand for herself. She lost respect, not just from others, but from herself. Those who dominate, who rise, don't play this game. They know that true power isn't about approval. It's about authenticity. It's about standing firm in your own truth, even when it means breaking the mold, even when it means burning bridges. Carl Jung called this the shadow, the dark, hidden self we bury to be acceptable. But the shadow does not disappear. It grows, consumes, until one day it becomes the master. This need to please is your shadow puppeteer, pulling strings behind the scenes, whispering lies about who you should be. You must bring this shadow into the light. Face it, own it, and break its hold over you. Because on the other side of this brutal honesty lies freedom, the raw, untamed freedom to be you, the freedom to reclaim your power, your voice, your destiny. Victor found this path. It wasn't easy. It tore him apart before it rebuilt him stronger. But once he stopped pleasing, the world shifted. Doors opened. His fire returned. And Emma, she learned to say no, to demand respect, to own her worth. This is your crossroads. The moment you decide, will you keep hiding behind masks, slowly fading away? Or will you step into the light, confront your shadow, and reclaim your life? The path won't be easy. You'll lose comfort, maybe people, but you'll gain something far greater, your soul's liberation. Because remember, pleasing others isn't kindness. It's a slow death of your spirit. And if you don't stop, that death will claim more than your peace. It will steal your identity, your power, your life. Are you ready to see the truth behind your need to please? To understand how it controls you and how to break free? Because the deeper you go, the more you realize this is not just about pleasing others. It's about reclaiming the most valuable thing you have, yourself. The chains that bind you are not visible. They are woven from invisible threads, expectations, fears, old wounds. But make no mistake, these threads have the strength of steel. You think you choose to please, but the truth is, you are trapped in a silent war inside your own mind. A war between your authentic self and the image you've been forced to wear. Take the story of Elena. From childhood, she learned that love came only when she was good enough, not herself good enough. So she perfected the art of pleasing, smiling when hurt, agreeing when betrayed, shrinking herself to fit into every space. Her people-pleasing was a shield. But shield's break point one day, a ruthless manager at her job exploited this weakness. He demanded more than work. He demanded silence, compliance, invisibility. Elena bent and broke. She wasn't just exhausted. She was erased. Not physically, but in her soul. She was a ghost haunting her own life, desperate for freedom but too afraid to fight. This is the first dark truth you must face. People who please become easy prey, not just in workplaces but in relationships, friendships, families. The moment you prioritize others' comfort over your truth, you hand them the keys to your prison. And predators, yes, real ones, sense this weakness instantly. Look at powerful figures throughout history and business. The conquerors, the titans, the ruthless. What separates them isn't brute force alone. It's their refusal to be tamed by approval. They know pleasing is weakness. It's submission masquerading as kindness. Napoleon didn't rise by saying yes to every courtier. Steve Jobs didn't become a legend by avoiding conflict. They embraced discomfort. They dared to say no. Here's the second devastating insight. Your desire to please distorts your perception of power. You mistake kindness for weakness, but real kindness is fiercely honest. It demands boundaries, respect, and truth. Pleasing? That's just a mask worn by those too afraid to face rejection. Think about it. Every yes you force, every fear you swallow, every boundary you cross for approval chips away at your resilience. You become a hollow version of yourself, a puppet whose strings tighten with every concession. There's a reason Jung warned about the shadow self. This shadow isn't some mystical force. It's the parts of you you deny to survive. The anger you hide, the ambition you silence, the voice you mute. Ignoring your shadow doesn't make it disappear. It festers. It leaks out in moments you least expect. Resentment, bitterness, self-sabotage. You must stop running from it. Embrace it. Own it. Only then do you begin to dismantle the pleasing habit. Only then do you reclaim the fire inside you. Here's where most people fail. They believe strength means fighting harder in the same old way. But strength begins by seeing. Seeing the subtle ways you've been enslaved by kindness masquerading as weakness. Seeing how fear of conflict, fear of loneliness, fear of rejection has built invisible walls around your soul. And seeing that breaking free means more than words. It means transformation. The tension between your true self and the pleasing self isn't just emotional. It's existential. You're not just risking disappointment. You're risking annihilation of your own essence. But there is hope. The third truth is a spark. A promise that beneath this suffocating mask is a power waiting to explode. That you're not broken beyond repair. You're not doomed to a life of quiet destruction. You are standing at the edge of awakening. To awaken is to choose yourself. Radically and unapologetically. To say no when your heart screams no. To walk away from those who drain your soul. Even if they once were your world. To face loneliness as a battlefield, not a curse. Because every great leader, every master of self, has walked this path. They embraced their shadow. They shed the pleasing skin. They stood naked before the world and refused to bow. It's not easy. It demands courage you didn't know you had. It demands losing the safety of approval and stepping into raw, untamed power. But that power is yours. You just have to reach for it. In the next moments, we will unravel even deeper secrets. How the mind traps you in pleasing loops and the ruthless psychology behind it. Because understanding these traps is the key to smashing them forever. Your transformation is not a distant dream. It begins with seeing the truth. And when you see it, nothing will ever be the same. You've stared into the abyss of pleasing, seen its darkness swallowing your light. Now, it's time to step beyond the edge. The moment you embrace your shadow, every hidden fear, every bottled rage, you take the first true breath of freedom, because the shadow isn't your enemy. It's your unclaimed power. Picture a warrior before battle. His armor is heavy, but inside burns a fire that no sword can touch. That fire is your truth, buried beneath years of silence. But here's the secret few ever admit. Transformation isn't about becoming someone new. It's about becoming who you really are. You are not the mask you wear to please. You are the storm behind it, fierce and untamed. This isn't some feel-good mantra. It's a ruthless act of war against everything that has held you hostage. You'll feel the old chains rattle. The voices of doubt will scream louder. The world will test you harder than ever. But this is where the weak fall away, because you're no longer the prey. You are the strategist. Every no you utter now is a strike to the cage that once trapped you. Every boundary you draw is a fortress built around your soul. Every moment of discomfort is a victory over the cowardice that once ruled you. Think of history's fiercest rulers. Alexander the Great, Cleopatra, Genghis Khan. Their power wasn't just in armies or riches. It was in their refusal to bend for approval. They understood that to dominate, you must first master yourself. You see, mastering yourself means dismantling the need to please. It means sitting with your discomfort, your anger, your loneliness, and using them as fuel, not chains. Imagine waking each day untethered from the exhausting dance of pleasing. Imagine speaking your truth without trembling. Imagine looking in the mirror and seeing a warrior, not a ghost. That warrior is not a fantasy. It lives inside you, hungry to rise. But it requires sacrifice. You must sacrifice the illusion of control through others' approval. You must sacrifice the desperate need to be liked, because these are lies dressed as survival. True survival is brutal honesty with yourself. It's ruthless clarity. It's owning your darkness, your flaws, your desires, and refusing to be less than you are. Your life after this transformation will be nothing like before. You will walk into rooms with the calm certainty of a predator. You will command respect without demanding it. You will hold your ground even when the world pushes to break you. And the best part? This power isn't taken from anyone, it's unlocked from within. But beware, the path is not for everyone. Many will beg you to return to your old pleasing ways. They will accuse you of selfishness, cruelty, abandonment. They will try to pull you back into the shadows where you were safe. Here's where your greatest test lies. Will you shrink back, or will you rise? The warrior chooses to rise, because beneath the pain and fear is a truth more profound than any praise. You are enough, not because someone told you so, not because you earned it, because you are. You exist, raw and unfiltered, and that existence demands respect. This is your call to arms. Shed the pleasing mask forever. Reclaim your soul and your power. Become the master of your fate, not the servant of approval. The battle isn't over. It's just beginning. But now you are armed with truth, and truth cuts deeper than any blade. You've walked through the fire. You've stared down the shadow that once haunted your every step. Now the world waits, changed and unfamiliar, but no longer a prison. This journey is not just about breaking free from pleasing others. It's about reclaiming the throne of your own existence, the throne no one else can grant you. Feel it, the weight of your own power settling into your bones. It's a quiet storm, fierce and relentless, and no one will hand it to you. No one will recognize it unless you claim it yourself. The truth you've uncovered is forbidden because it threatens the very foundation of control others wield over you. Please is to obey. Refuse is to rule. You are no longer a shadow on someone else's stage. You are the author of your story, the architect of your destiny. The cage is shattered, the mask discarded, And in the silence that follows, your true voice rises, a voice that commands, that inspires, that terrifies. Because power is not loud. It is presence. It is calm. It is unshakable. But remember, this power demands vigilance. The world will test you with old temptations disguised as comfort. They will offer smiles that are chains. They will whisper lies that sound like love. Your task is to see through the illusion every single time. Because mastery is not a destination. It is a constant war waged inside. And only the fiercest warriors survive. So rise. Stand tall in your raw, unfiltered self. Let the pleasing fall away like dead skin. Let your true self burn brighter than any fear. You've crossed a threshold few dare to approach. Few survive with their souls intact. But you are different. You have tasted the forbidden truth. You hold the key to a life lived on your terms. Now, wield it. Not for approval, not for comfort, but for power, for freedom, for the relentless pursuit of your own truth. If this fire inside you burns as it should, then don't. Keep it to yourself. Share this truth. Light the path for others trapped in shadows. Comment below with what you're ready to shed. Like and subscribe if you're done playing small. Because this is just the beginning. The world belongs to those who refuse to please. The world belongs to those who master themselves, and mastery is your birthright. Stay fierce, stay free, and remember, power is always watching.